Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode of Coaching Conversations. And I wanted to make you aware of something very cool that we're doing on a subscription basis, and we'll put a link in each one of our episodes. But every Wednesday, we're going to be doing what we call an audio podcast workshop. That workshop will be roughly about 14 to maybe 20 minutes per episode, with each month having a theme from a coaching model, using feedback strategically, to coaching self-awareness, and so on. So if you could look in the body or in the content description of each episode, and you will see a link where you can join this subscription. These are literally 4 workshops every month, teaching specific strategies to address a particular area of workplace coaching, as it relates, again, to things like awareness, motivation, teamwork, and what have you. Here's the cool thing. It's only $10 per month, and each month you will get a handout that we will follow along with. So we also give you a tool for you to take notes as we go through each episode. We hope you'll check it out.
When it comes to self-awareness, one of the toughest things that we all go through is looking in the mirror and really going through the process of self-discovery. And I will tell you on a personal level, I'd say it's about 4 or 5 years ago, I got certified in emotional intelligence through a great coach in Dallas, Texas, Ed Hennessy. And he said, "What do you think your low score was?" And I said, "Empathy." He said, "You're right." And I always thought about, okay, that's me. That's my personality. No, it's not. Emotional intelligence can be improved, much like self-awareness. Now, I think in order to improve anything, conversation skills, public speaking, selling skills, customer service skills, whatever it is, it starts with self-awareness. See, one of the toughest things that happens, and I often use this as an example, is I think about, salespeople. When sales are up, look at me, I'm fantastic. When sales are down, wow, the market went south. And the funny thing about it is, most people don't typically look in the mirror and say, you know what, I didn't have a good selling season because I didn't handle objections well. I didn't negotiate well. That would be a healthy self-awareness driven answer. So self-awareness requires practice. So I started to take action. And I remember Ed saying, "Do you ever ask how other people feel?" I said, "No, why?" I literally was that shut off from empathy. And it's tough for me because I've been, since the age of 14, I've been kind of on my own. I, didn't get a lot of money from my parents since I was 14 years old. I paid for my own college. I've always just worked through things. And so even today, when people say, well, geez, I'm struggling with, mental health or anxiety, I know those are real things. I'm not putting those down. So don't write me. I struggle with that because I didn't have that, for lack of a better description, I didn't have that cushion to say, well, I can't work because I was on my own. And so it's always taught me a really good thing, yet it manifested itself in not such a great thing, not being empathetic. So when the pandemic hit, thank goodness I was working with Ed, because I did have people I work with that were really struggling, legitimately struggling, mental health, anxiety. And I kept saying, take the day off. Catch up with your hours. I would never have done that. The last 2 years, we've given the people that work with us, employees and contractors, most of the month of December and the first week in January off, almost a full month off with pay. Enjoy your family, enjoy your holidays. I would never have done that. And then they always say to me, well, are you going to work? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to work. I'm used to working. I like working. I like what I do. This is not a torturous job. This is actually a fun job. So self-awareness takes action. Where can somebody start? What's an activity? Number 1, listening chats. Ask people twice a week and do this for 90 days. It'll take you 10 minutes every 2 weeks, 20 minutes total monthly. Number 1, ask, what can I do to better serve you? Number 2, what can I do better as a teammate? Number 3, what are some things you feel like I do really, really well? And that's it. Now, here's the rule of a listening chat. Just say thank you. See, most of the time we hear things, we rebuttal them. We start thinking about what we want to say. The rule of engagement is to write them down and just say thank you. I've had more people come to me after doing that activity and literally say, at first I hated it. Weeks later, I am learning so much about what people need from me. Because let's be honest, when we get into a conversation, we're running hard, we have meetings, we have reports we got to do, we got to get projects done. We're not thinking about, I got to get into a listening state of mind, and we cut ourselves off from self-awareness. So one of the things that when I did it, people would say, slow down. You can probably hear it in this podcast. I talk fast. I think fast. And everyone goes, oh, that must be wonderful. You're so good on your feet. No, communication-wise, I can create heartache for people because I talk too fast. So number one, listening chat. Number two, journal. Now, I know guys typically don't like to hear the word journal because it's, I don't want to have a diary. But a journal is write down observations of other people in terms of what they do really well that might equate to something that you have to do. So I had somebody a couple years ago who just was not confident in running meetings. And we identified somebody that does run a good meeting. And we had her journal every single time she attended one of this guy's meetings, what he did really well. What did he look like? And what she was really doing is writing down her own curriculum, her own training outline, her own personal development outline of what she needed to do. Within about a year from the observations and then meeting with this person and saying, how did you get to this point? What did you do to practice this? How did you become so good and confident in running your staff meetings? She became unbelievably good at running meetings. So, number one, listening chats. Number two, journal. Write down observations of other things, of other people that will fuel your mind positively. And those are the two main actions to drive self-awareness. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.